Good morning again, dear Thai, dear Sangha. I would like to invite us all to connect to our compassionate energy in us and the compassionate energy of Avalokiteshvara Kuan Yin, to center our body and mind with the chant, a short chant of Namo Valokiteshvara, to pray for world peace and peace in ourselves. Like Thai said, peace in ourselves, peace in the world. Please listen to the sounds of the bell. Namo Valokiteshvara. Namo Valokiteshvara. Namo Valokiteshvara. If you have not closed your eyes yet, I would like to invite you to go ahead and close your eyes. Sit as upright and yet relax as much as you can. Breathing in, you know you're breathing in. Breathing out, you know you're breathing out. In, out. Breathing in, follow your in-breath from beginning to end. Pause a second. Breathing out, follow the out-breath from beginning to end. Pause a little bit and continue breathing like that to deepen your breathing. Slow, deep and gentle. Deep, slow. Breathing in and feel your body is calming. Breathing out with ease. Calm, ease. Breathing in and give yourself a little smile to relax your whole body and mind. Breathing out, release all stress and strain. Smile, release. Breathing in, enjoy this wonderful moment. Breathing out, enjoy this wonderful moment, present moment. Dear Thầy, dear Morning Word Sangha friends, thank you for having me here with you. And I believe that we learn a lot from Thầy to cultivate peace and joy in us, to help the world as much as we can to be more peaceful. I love Thai's calligraphy. Peace in ourselves, peace in the world. I really believe we need to take care of ourselves in order to give what we have to the world. I believe you would agree with me that if you're grouchy, how can you be peace to the world? Right? Agree? Raise your hands if you do. I remember before I studied the mindfulness and studied with Thai, I used to be so grouchy. I think I remember at work later on, one of my employees came in and told me, "Joe, I used to be so scared of you. I used to call you Dragon Lady." And he said, "Okay, but you're okay now." I said, "Okay, thank you. Thank you for sharing that with me." I transformed. I really believe we learn mindfulness and we live in life as a human being is to transform constantly, to nurture the seeds of goodness in us and let the seeds of not goodness, of unwholesome seeds, to sleep deep in our subconscious mind as much as we can. They're there all the time, right? Like this bottle here represent us. Mostly we water, but all the seeds are there. Good seeds and not so good seeds. What are the good seeds? Anybody want to spout out? Just yell out. What's the good seeds?
Kindness.
Kindness. So I'm going to put one seed of kindness in here. We just keep adding it, right? Those are good seeds. But in life, we also have not so good seeds. What are they? Impatience. I just want to demonstrate that all of these seeds are in us. Like Thai said many times, we cannot get rid of it. They're there. And in our diligent practice of the Eightfold Path that the Buddha shared, we need to let the good seeds sprout up in the conscious mind, in our behaviors. And we need to let the not so good seeds sleep down there as much as possible. That's our habits, energy, practices. We need to focus on identify our habit energies. The good ones, do our best to bring it up. The not so good one, do our best to bring it down. And when the good one's already up there, keep it up there as much as we can. And not nurture, not feed the non-wholesome seeds up here. When it rises up in our conscious mind, in our behavior, do our best to bring it down. Another thing that I want to mention is that the reason that I used to be grouchy because I worried all the time. I was worrying about death for me and for my family constantly. I worry about things that go well. So I'm going to add the sand into this worriness. Oh, you see that we are so pure and clear now, right? When our mind is clear, when we know how to live mindfully. But if we are not careful and we live life with worriness is represented like you put dirt in our mind and we shake it up. Worry, worry, worry. So is that clear or cloudy? And then we have to put it down and breathe and sit quietly in order to calm our body and mind. If you sit with it for 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes, you'll see it less cloudy. You can see it settle a little bit already. It's similar to what Thich gave us on I believe, the orange pulps example. This example is everywhere. I just want to use this image to demonstrate for us. And Mark Twain said, worrying is like a rocking chair. It rocks and goes nowhere. So we need to catch our worriness. And when we worry, where are we? Are we in the present moment? Or we're going in the future? Most of the time we're in the future, right? And then when we feel depressed, are we in the present moment or are we in the past or in the future? I believe we're in the past. I read an article or a phrase that Lao Tzu said, when we are depressed because we live in the past. And when we nervous, worrying because we live in the future. The only time that we can have peace and joy is when we're in the moment. We all know that. I am preaching to a choir here, right? You don't need to listen to me. I want to remind you one thing. I believe the Four Noble Truths. I just learned the words from Vietnamese that make one of them much clearer that I want to share with you. So we all know the first noble truth is recognize life is suffering. When I share that with my Christian friend, she was fighting the suffering in her life. And then when she learned to just not embrace it really, but accept it, then she said, oh, it's much easier for me to live with these difficulties of life. Because we just recognize life just is. And I love Byron Katie talk about loving what is. Wow, that lady, she got in line that I don't get to that level. And I believe that is the level of Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. They recognize and they got the insight of life is suffering, but embrace it and move on. I still suffer. We all still suffer because we're human beings. And just accept that. The second truth, so in Vietnamese, the first noble truth is called khổ đế. And I learned đế means insight, wisdom. So we understand that life is suffering. And the second noble truth is called tập đế. I never thought of, we just learned from English that saying causes of suffering. I did not translate what tập means in Vietnamese. Yến chí, tập. And some people, Thiên nhiên, you're Vietnamese. Do you recognize what tập come from? Maybe not, but I'm just going to move on. I think maybe you may know. Tập come from tập khí. Tập khí means habit energies. Say, wow, the insight of focus on habit energies, those are the causes of our suffering or our goodness, right? Just like this bottle shows, in here we have all kinds of habit energies that we store, good and bad, and indifference. How can we nurture. You can see it's a little bit calmer already. How can we nurture, like the diligent practice that I just shared with you, the habit energy, to understand the causes of suffering? Those are the way for us to transform, which is the third one. We can release the suffering. And then the Buddha gave us the Eightfold Path. The Eightfold Path is so deep, I don't think we can go through it in this talk. However, I have a chart that I found down in, let me see if I can share that chart with you, that I think it is very wonderful to summarize the Eightfold Path in a way. It's beautiful. I did not open it up first, so let me see if I can find that chart. The Eightfold Path with grouping. Okay. Okay, this one here that describe. I'm gonna share this screen so that we can just summarize the Eightfold Path in a very clear way, I think. All right, here it is. Let's see if I can show it. Can you see this Eightfold Path? It's coming. All right. So the Noble Eightfold Path, right view, know the truth. The truth here, to me, that I learn more and more, like Thich said, the Buddha walks with you. The Buddha sits for you. The Buddha is in you. To me, right view there, summary quickly that helped me to return to my peacefulness and help others to be peaceful, is knowing that we are the Buddha nature. Let me just pause that for a second so I can talk about this. Or maybe I'm just going to run through this and then we can talk more. So we know right view. I want to go back to that. Right intention, right? Free your mind of the evil. It means we do good things. Right speech, we all know that. I love the mindful speech that Thich shared with us. It's very detailed. It's wonderful. Right, that means say nothing that hurt others. Right action, work for the good of others. Right effort, resist evil again. Right concentration, practice meditation. We have to practice. Right mindfulness, control our thoughts. All of these related to having more joy and less suffering in life for transformation. I would like to share with you one thing, that when I can relate to this right view, that is the one that Thich talk about. When we see things, see it as it is, rather than translate it in from our experience and add our thoughts to it and make it more difficult. Another thing that I learned, the Buddha nature is in us. That's why I love Thai's community always chant Avalokiteshvara, because that is a Buddha nature in Avalokiteshvara. When that Buddha nature in another language or translation is called limitless light. Limitless life. Because when I learned that, I have more peace in me. I no longer worry too much about death. And I know that this body, like we all know, is composed by 5 skandhas. 5 skandhas and 4 elements of earth, water, air, and fire. And then when the conditions of these are not together, then we no longer here in this physical body. But that Buddha nature, that limitless light, that limitless life is the one that has no birth, no death. It's the one that keeps going on. So I could accept, like the Dalai Lama said to one girl, she asked him, are you afraid when you die? And he said something like, you see this shirt on you? You change shirt all the time. That is like life. And the Buddha nature is the one that lasts forever in us. And it's everywhere. If you chant Vietnamese, chanting at the beginning of sutras, we usually say, Tam bảo thường trụ trong mọi phương. That means the three jewels is everywhere. The Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha is everywhere, in all directions. That means that we can connect ourselves to that pure nature, to have peace in us, to be able to give peace in the world. To me, the daily practice is so important. I summarize my daily practice in a chart. When I have retreat in person, I handed it out. I also have it online, but it's so small to read. But mainly at night, we need to feel gratitude of what happened during the day. We calm our body and mind and be grateful of what happened to the day. Even the things that are not so good, we still appreciate whatever it is. And in the morning, I think we all love Thais. Wake up in the morning, I smile. 24 brand new hours are in front of me. I vow to live with each moment fully in mindfulness, in awareness. And I look at all beings with the eyes of love, kindness, and compassion. So every morning I practice that. I set the intention of the day right. I'm sharing this thing with you. It's not boasting me, but I'm just want to, I have to talk about how to cultivate peace in me. So I'm just sharing with you my practices. And I have no doubt you guys doing that too. How many of you do the morning practice of Thais 24 brand new hour? Raise your hands if you do. Wonderful. Yeah, lots of us. We all Thai students, we all learn good things. The challenge is how can we practice it them all the time? Can we? No. Accept that too. Because we are not Buddhas yet. We are not Christ. We are not Bodhisattvas totally yet. So we're not going to be perfect yet. Embrace it also. To me, accept the goods, the bad, the indifferences. Open our heart out to accept them is wonderful. And I would like to share with you, Gary Koch wrote the book, Pause, Breathe, and Smile. I love that phrase because it is reminded by PBS, not public broadcast station. When you hear public broadcast station, think about pause, breathe, and smile. I have high school students remind each other in the field of sport when they worry or whenever they go for a driving test, they remind each other, they share with me after they learn that, then PBS! They yell to each other. They remind each other of that. So PBS, I love acronyms. It is funny, I read the Zen Judaism book that I had, and they said something like, the Buddhas had all kinds of rules, like sixfold path and four noble truth, all these numbers thing. And I guess I'm stuck with all the acronyms. CARE is another thing I want to share with you that is also in this chart. C for compassion, A for appreciation, R for respect, E for equanimity, right? We need to care for ourselves with these qualities to care for others. You know how to practice compassion, appreciation, respect. Respect, I want to mention to you, my, I guess, bad habit is that when I don't feel being respected, that's when my heart goes, oh. I'm annoyed. over the time, I noticed that, that is the cause of my annoyance. We have to name it to tame it. Like many teachers say that. So once like I said, hello, anger. I say, hello, disrespectful. And now you listen to me enough. I want to share with you the Integral Taichi that kind of bring the mind and the body together, because we need to cultivate the seeds in us through the watering the seeds in us mentally and physically. And I learned this from Ce Hang Truong that I want to share with you. So please, with mindfulness, with breathing calmly, and we're going to know that we're going to stand up, right? That's our practice. Know what we do all the time. So if you're sitting for a while on the floor, I always have the habit, I have to massage my feet a little bit, my knees a little bit. Otherwise, later, if I sit, especially for half an hour, and I climb that stairs and my knee go crack, 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 it tells me, take care of your knees. Our body reminds us all the time to take care of ourselves. So I would sit there and massage your knees, massage under the kneecaps to release it a little bit, the ankles and top of the feet. Take a breath. If you massage yourself a little bit, when you're ready, please go ahead and stand up. Take a breath and stand up. Okay, my knees still say, okay, release it a little bit. And what I mean is 4 fingers under the kneecap, massage it like this. That helps me a lot, because when my knees are not needs help, the under the kneecaps, those ligaments needs massage, need tenders, need loving kindness for ourselves and loving kindness for others. We have to have love for ourselves before we can have love for others, okay? So this one here, I want to water some of the good seeds in us. You can just move yourself around, like Chi demonstrated that in our Sangha last couple of weeks ago beautifully. So just move yourself a little bit. And then I want to share with you this particular movement. You're breathing in and breathing out, you stretch to the sky. Connect to the sun to give you clarity, the sunlight during the day. Breathing in, palms up, point your finger down. Breathing out, fold at the hips and drop your head down and connect to the moon. So just stay there for a second. The moon light up light, share lights in darkness, right? So that represents shining light into our subconscious mind, shining lights into our habits to understand our habits. All right, and then breathing in, go up again, palm open to the sky, breathing out straight up to the sky. All right, and in and out. Now this time, bend your knees a little bit and go down. And you haven't learned this before, but I would just want to share this with you because there's phrases that is very important. Doesn't matter about the body movements now, right or wrong, not worry. But this is called good. Okay, let me just do it. Right and wrong are one. Quickly enter into suchness. Go up high and point the hands together. The form is not important right now, but the phrase is important. Right and wrong are one. Go down. Breathing in, quickly enter into suchness. Suchness is the truth of the universe, the right view, right? Gently engaged in the world. We want to engage in the world to solve world problem and our problem gently, okay? So let's do it one more time. Right and wrong are one. Quickly enter into suchness. Gently engage in the world. And then put your hands here. And go open up, belly out. Look at the sky again. Turn your hands and call good and bad are all. Embrace all. Let go and return to the source. Again, the source is our true self. The goodness, the beauty, the truth. Good and bad are one. Embrace all, let go and return to the source. Okay? So remember, our source is our goodness, our body and mind together, our truth, our beauty, our goodness. In Vietnamese called chân thiện mỹ. So I want to help you remove some affliction. So I'm sorry I have to go down here to talk to you, but I want you to do one more movement. And then I think I want to pause and stop after I go into calming a little bit. So stand up again if you sit down. So this one here, you just gently raise your hands and bring them down. And your feet, you go to the front, your heel up, go to the back, your toes up in the front. And just gently doing like that. Okay? This one here takes a long time to teach you all of these things, but we just do a little bit because I want to tell you watering the seeds in us is important. All right, so let's gently move the feet like that a little bit, right? And then we put your hands here and you go out like this. Remove afflictions. Anything that bother you, let go of attachments. That is the most important noble từ bi hỷ xả, the four immeasurable minds. The last one is equanimity, but in Vietnamese it means let go. Let go of attachments, open up our heart and mind, return to our true self. Again, your Buddha nature. Buddha nature can only be there when we have compassion. Compassion for ourselves to have compassion for others. So remove afflictions, let go of attachments, open up our heart and mind, return to ourselves. Then let's just go ahead and breathing in and breathing out. And I love this phrase, to water the good in us. I open my heart to accept and receive so that I can learn to love, to forgive, to embrace all differences and difficulties. Let it be what I cannot change, and let me change to the best I can be, to serve living beings. Put our hands together to unite the differences, center our body and mind, return to our true self, and with respect we can bow down to each other. And please go ahead and sit down for me to summarize the little sharing that I have with you. And if you have any questions, we can discuss it. So let's just breathe for a second. Be aware of our sitting position again, calming the body and mind. Every day, whenever we can, we need to meditate, even just few minutes with breathing, to calm the body and mind, to let the amygdala not hijack our prefrontal cortex. I think you learned this kind of thing from Joanne very well. But mainly I want us to calm our body and mind so we can respond to the difficulties in life with wisdom, with compassion. Those are the two wings of living life, with more joy and less suffering. Highly recommend you do some physical exercises to take care of yourself too. I heard, I can't remember who said that they walk every day, but that is wonderful. Thanks to COVID, it's really weird. I really believe Thai teaching is so good. Out of garbage, there's flowers. No mud, no lotus. Weird thing that because of COVID, Jim and I walk about 3 miles a day now. Because we just walk. We cannot meet people, so every day we walk 2 miles in the morning and 1 mile at night. Thanks to that, I feel like my knees are working much better too. So we just embrace whatever it happens in life. We never know when things are not so good, what is the result of the future. I really believe truly that Thai stay in his non-healthy physical conditions for 7 years or so is to help Plum Village community be stronger, to survive for the future. Do you agree with that? I don't know if you want to raise your hands, but I agree. At first when Thich had a stroke and he did not die right away when all the monks and nuns from the world came there to attend his funeral, and he still survived for 3 more months and woke up from his unconscious mind. I said, well, how come he didn't die like the stories of the Zen masters? But then after that, after I see how strong his Plum Village communities, the monastics, are so awesome. They are so strong now. They're all like Thais, right? They're definitely continuation of Thai. They give wonderful talks and retreats. So we never know what would happen when we see not so good things. We just have to accept it and move on. You probably, I have multiple stories, so let's stop here. I want to share with you one of this chart that I think could summarize our decision. Let me see if I can share this. You see the chart? How many of you have seen this chart before? I know Gary has because I shared this before. So are you happy? Are you peaceful? Go down. If it is, I'm going to have to move this guy so I can see it better, but that's okay. Let's see. Okay, yeah. All right, so are you happy? Are you peaceful? Yes, keep doing whatever you're doing. Right? To the left. No. Do you want to be happy? Do you want to be peaceful? Yes, change something. No, keep doing whatever you're doing. Isn't that funny? But it's so true. Diligent practices. But first we have to know where we are to go to where we want to go. We have to understand our habits, energies. The good, the bad, the indifference. How can we give peace for ourselves to give peace to the world, our loved ones, our society, and the world? One thing I do daily, I really think is important. Meditation, touching the earth, 3 or 5, whatever, as many as you want. Chant sutras. I believe chanting sutras, like the Plum Village chanting book, right? I'm going to stop sharing here. Has so many wonderful chanting sutras in there. I sometimes just open it up and see wherever it is and chant that. But I have a routine daily in Vietnamese that I do. Whenever I can do that, I feel so peaceful. And I feel happier. Walk, I already mentioned that. Be a vegetarian. I think one thing that I learned more, that we don't want to owe blood debts. Every being wants to live. When we take away their lives, they might come back, cause and effect. All kinds of philosophy, all kinds of teaching of life. The Buddha, through Thai's teaching, through many other teachers' teachings, share with us. I just like to conclude by, may you be happy, may you be peaceful, may you be healthy, may you be in abundance in all areas of your life. My best wishes to you. I love this Tibetan quote that you see in my email, Tashi Dile. It means, I honor the greatness in you. I honor the place in you that resides your courage, your hope, your love, and your dreams. And one chart that I saw from my friend this morning was, if we love ourselves, we would not hurt others. If we love ourselves, I think we would not hurt us either. Thank you, dear friends, for listening. Chau Bang out. Is there any questions or